Hello and welcome guys. Today we have a game on Rigor 4 Highlands between the Blast, that I assume that is a Blast Shield, I guess, and Thomas Ayat. So Aeon versus Cybran. So yeah, I like this map. There is a lot of things going on, and in theory the game lasts quite a while since the map is quite big. So let's see what these people are doing. So no first bomber. Let's speed it up at the beginning to see, at least to get rid of the expansion phase, building the hydro. Nothing crazy going on. So here we have second land, third air. And here we have second air, third land. So probably a bomber coming out from Blast Shield soon. Spending engineers, going to their target, this max here and then reclaim. This engineer is going to try to steal the reclaim here, pretty greedy. And of course there is a lot of reclaim that you kinda have to manually reclaim, because if not you're gonna end up taking all the trees. And look at this, try to exploit all the mess in those tree clumps. And of course Aeon can pass through this avenue, that there is water. You can hide here with your SCU, but the Auroras can float through it. And the ACU starts moving to the center. Here there is also a couple of reclaim racks that you kind of want to try to take at the beginning. Okay, now let's go at +2. Here the first raid, 4 Mantis versus 3 Aurora. Now finally the scout is arriving, because the Aurora without a scout can take advantage of his longest range. So the Mantis decided they can't really take this position. Usually the CU goes here and goes here, but in this case Thomas Sire decided to go on the north, and Blast decided to go for this expansion. So stream of units going here. Of course this expansion is kinda unprotected now, and actually Blast decided to go for transport as soon as possible. He's waiting to drop his engineers here or somewhere else, and he actually has a factory built up here already with an edge build, quite nice. And we have a transport also from Thomas Ayat going on this island. So now Blast ECU is trying to secure this expansion. Thomas Ayat is quite happy to just sit here and well, actually start moving some troops against this expansion, because he probably noticed that the ACU from Blast is here, so he knows that this expansion is not well protected. And actually Blast decided to go for a super fast Tech 2, and we have already a Rhino out. Let's check mass and power. So Blast doesn't have much power and he has a full mass bar, while Thomas is actually overbuilt a bit of power. So when you are in the situation where you overbuilt a bit of power, you wanna try to spend it, maybe spamming a couple of air factories. Okay, let's go at +1. Here, this Rhino has already 3 kills. It's going strong. There is already one other one here, but this expansion is taken out by few Auroras. So pretty good raid from Thomas Ayat. And now we have the ACUs facing each other here. Both at fully point, 9 kills, 1 kill. Some Aurora building up, but there are Rhinos coming. Of course Rhino can be taken out by an overcharge of the ACU. Let's check if Thomas Ayat, yes, he can overcharge. So let's see what happens here. So Blast also has a Cybran ACU that has less point, 1000 less in point. And this raid very strong. And then of course the Aurora now can go straight into the base, so he will have to, Blaster will have to defend with some tanks here. And these Rhinos have tried to do some damage, but there are too many Auroras, and now finally there are also Tech 2 units from Thomas Hayat in the form of Blazes that are not great, but they are good versus Tech 1. And they can also float, so it's good if you want to pass them through here. Now these 2 Rhinos are still approaching, and there's not much really to defend here, while Thomas managed to take out this expansion from Blast Shield, and Blast Shield had to go back here. This expansion also is taken over, and as you can see from the mass income, Thomas Hayat is quite ahead. Let's see if Blast can take advantage of his fast Tech 2 units. And he already built a TML, well, a tactical missile defense, maybe a little bit too early. Still, 1 Rhino is not enough to defeat all these units, so 1 Rhino here, 13 kills, take out some maxes, but eventually died. And the drop of an obsidian that one-shot poor Rhino left there on his own. Okay, now we are kinda in a stalemate situation, because we have this push coming, but I believe that Thomas can defend, well, Blast can defend quite well with this couple of Rhinos. And on this side, really sad, because Blaster doesn't have eco, and looks like this game is gonna end up bad for him if he doesn't do something crazy, try to snipe the ACU. So he sent some engineers here because he wants to go for a fast gun. Let's see if he assists, if he has the power. Well, he has power, he has mass. Thomas is using all the mass that he has. And now these obsidians are being taken out by some Medusas that of course has the ability of stun the enemy unit. That's huge. 2 obsidian killed by Artie. Is great. And now finally Blast try to retake control of his expansion, but here we already have Aurora with under a shield. Not many Tech 2 units apart from 1 wounded blade. And nice raid with the Medusa, try to kill 1 max and is gonna kill another one. And against use of transport in order to supply fresh obsidians to the front line, I guess. But the ACU now has gun, so he can overcharge them. And Thomas is retreating, you know that he has an advantage, he has more eco, so he just doesn't have to get sniped, and this game will be in his favor. So as you can see, mass income almost doubled for Thomas Hayat. Let's see if Blast Shield decide to attack. We also have quite a nice group of Tech 2 units here that can probably come here and kill everything. But Thomas Hayat is replying, is responding with a couple of 1 Obsidians and 1 Asylum, and also the engineer built a PD. Let's check out this fight. So actually Blast is retreating in face of all these Obsidians. I don't know why he's not overcharging them. Maybe he is, but these tanks are quite tough, and no mercy. Thomas Hayat is just using a transport to send tanks in the front line once again. And this single Aurora can maybe take out these engineers. And this is gonna be a bad engagement. You should go on this side, avoid this PD. But luckily he has a couple of artilleries, so not bad. But again, mass income is pretty bad for Blast Shield. Let's see, now Thomas is on upgrade. And Blast decides to target him, try to do as much damage as he can. He probably has to cancel because he has artillery shooting him. He actually cancelled it, doesn't want to die on artillery, he's sending all these troops against Blast ACU. This expansion has been destroyed, so actually now Blast Shield is recovering a bit. He has to drop here and take advantage of this expansion as soon as possible. So reclaim. Actually, Thomas has reclaimed more than Blast. All these engineers here, look at them, sucking up these Tech 2 wrecks. And the transport finally has been shut down, no more reinforcements on the front line. And this group of units can do some damage if Thomas doesn't notice them. And he doesn't. He doesn't know where they are. Well, he knows them. You can see them now. They're going for some anti-air attack. Here there is another transport ready. Maybe he should use it defensively this time. Yes, he's doing it. And these engineers are finally gonna take the mass points here. One engineer coming. Let's see what these guys can do. It would be great to snap this statue power. And yeah, they're kinda dying quite fast. This obsidian, one rhino goes down. There is another 3 obsidians here. I don't know if this force can take them out. We have 4 rhinos. I don't think so. They're probably just gonna deliver some mass straight into the base. But now mass income is even. So as you can see, Blast Shield, realizing that it doesn't have the other maxes, is teching is for core maxes, is missing one. And now Thomas decided to go for the gun again, because he realized that he needs the range and the attack in order to defeat this ACU that has 70 kills, a lot, and 14,000 hit points, a lot of regen. Now we'll have stealth, which is great. Again, Thomas 32 kill, pretty decent. And as you can see, Blast is focusing all his effort on this side, leaving this side completely undefended apart from one rhino. Here there are like 8 maxes that are 16 max income. So if he loses this 16 max income, it's not gonna be good for him. And he's also start taking up these maxes that are relatively vulnerable to a drop. In fact, he's leaving his main air force, well, at least some of the air here in case of a drop. There is one PD here, but it's not gonna do that much against the shielded obsidian. He managed to take out the shield of one, and not much else. So, whoa, Thomas decided to go for a shield. The gun is not enough, he wants a shield. And here, Harbinger drops. So finally Thomas decided to go for Tech 3. And there is another Arbs ready to go. And this try... Ooh, kill it. No, nice. So Thomas Hayes managed to sneak in 2 Harbingers in Blast Shield base, and this is gonna be massive. And also this attack, both drop are gonna come here, engineers, but they're gonna quickly be taken out by Thomas Sayat. So this Harbinger has already killed 1 max, and if they manage to snipe this power, but actually we have Tech 3, and in response 1 brick from Blast Shield. He needs to use it as best as he can. He doesn't want to die, and actually Thomas is microing his Harbingers and changing them position. Ooh, at least one is dead. So 1 brick for 1 Harbinger, and continuous drops. This is the way to go for Thomas. He also tried to attack here. Look at the amount of troops. There are 2 shields, 2 Harbingers. Another brick comes out, but his shots are blocked by the shield. And final assault against Blast. Actually, Thomas decided, well, I kinda got you, I killed your pigeon. Not much you can do, my friend. Her engagement, Blast seems that he won it, but he actually was just finding half of the Thomas Sayat force. And now again this mess is gone. Thomas decided to retreat. We still have units here. The Tech 3 factory is gone. And let's speed it up. There's probably gonna be a final assault here, but Thomas Sayat will try to survive as best as he can. He knows that his opponent's base is in shambles. Actually going in the water. And suicide. Death by suicide. Well, GG and congratulations to Thomas. Hopefully you enjoyed this cast and see you next time. Ciao ciao.